Okay, so we are live and wait, let me just share it on Instagram. Mm, okay, so this will be a quick like I will be trying to make the ranking quick because first of all there will be a lot of characters. If we start analyzing everyone, it will take a lot of time. But I will try to make this analysis as quick as possible. Let me just reorganize them according to their appearance in the manga. Mm, Where is that bastard Flocky? Man, I again missed one character. This is the second time I am making this ranking. Fuck. Just give me a second. Thorfinn. No, Thorfinn should be at last. Thorfinn and Connaught. I will put Thorfinn and Connaught in the last because they are more important character. Thorkel, Kittel, Snake, Arnheid, Hill, Goodread, Girl. This is well, but I missed, I guess, that bastard Flocky. Okay, we'll be adding on Flocky later on in the story because he's important character as well. But right now I need to stop the stream if I just okay, just let me check it. But I swear I added Flocky. I don't know what is the problem with this. Flocky, where is Flocky? Kettle PNG. Which one is Flocky? I guess I forgot Flocky. Let me just check Flocky once. Flocky, yeah. Where it got downloaded? Like X. Okay, okay. It got downloaded in assets, I guess. This is the asset folder for my uh, web page. It's okay. I was just checking my web development at that time. Okay, let's do Loki. Which one is this one? Just wait a second. Now this will be fine. Let's see. Yeah, Flocky is added, and we'll be organizing this as well. And let's do a quick reorganize. And then Thorfinn will be at last. Then Ketil, then Thorgil, Snake, Goodread. Okay, I forgot Arnheid. Arnheid should be here. Yeah. Then Thorfinn and Snake. Right. Okay, this is the ranking. We will be ranking Thors at the first. First of all, I will give a disclaimer, quick disclaimer that every character, most of the character will be between A's to B, because I don't think Vinland Saga actually has any main characters in C or D category, because Vinland Saga is so much good at character making and character analysis. So, Tesu, hello, bro, we cannot hear. You cannot hear? What? No, I can hear from my phone. Just check it. I was just silent at that moment, I guess, and that's why. You guys can check. My voice is coming. Uh,
We'll be adding on
yeah,
Flocky later.
yeah. Okay, so let's start the ranking, because I will be quick. This is Thor's. I will be putting Thor's at Ace, Ace category, because he has some real impact at the story. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, so let's put Thor's at Ace, because Thors, we all know Thors is uh, the greatest warrior from Jomsvikings ever lived, because he was so much powerful. He could single-handedly just he overpowered Thorkel, and we know how much powerful Thorkel is. Such a brutal force, and we'll be talking later on Thorkel as well. But Thor as a character is A-star because of his impact in the story. We all know this pacifism, what later on in the story goes on with mostly majority of the character got the lesson of pacifism from which was inherited from Thor's actually. Thor's mainly Thorfinn, then Thorfinn to others like Kylie and Goodread, anyone. And this is the best part about Thor's. Thor's died in the very starting of the manga, like within 4 or 5 chapters, he just died. Um, but still, he managed to leave his impact or impact of philosophy. This shows that you might not live very long in a life. We often die very soon. We don't know how we'll be dying. We have come here with a predestined life. Okay, so tomorrow I can die, tomorrow you can die. Nobody knows. But our impact, our action, our karma makes what we are. And our actions define how people will remind us. Whenever the name of Thor drops in the manga or anime, there is such a certain change in the facial structure of the manga. Like if anyone is enemy of Thor's, they will be frightened of Thor's name, that anyone of Thor's relative has come. And someone who is inspiring Thor's, like Thorfinn, in the later on in the manga, we all have always have seen avenge Thor's death. Thorfinn will face a lot of emotional turmoil whenever it comes to his father, And Thor, that is why Thor is a star character any day. Then comes to Floki. Floki in the story is impactful, especially in the third arc, the Baltic Sea arc. But apart from that, Thor, I believe that Askeladd, who was actually hired by Floki for killing the Thors, was a bit. So just any day he slaps to Floki. Floki is more like political character. He is cunning. He is manipulative. So for me, Floki is B tier character. Floki will be having a lot of um, depth in the later on in the arc. Let me check the chats. Stop for a while. It says manga. Yeah, bro. It's Karan bhai. What's up? Good, bro. And after this ranking, I will be doing some of my works and then gym. Man, life is never good, man. Always stressful and a lot of works. Okay, let's come to the ranking. Then comes Askeladd, and Askeladd definitely will be to A star, no doubt, because Askeladd is just like Thor's, but with different ideology. Because Askeladd, even after his death, has so much impact on the main character Thorfinn. Because this is a story of mainly Thorfinn's perspective. So I'll be saying a character which has direct impact on Thorfinn is so good, is so goated. I'll be saying, especially how Askeladd died. With his death, he proved that I lived as a villain, but I will die as a hero. And he actually was a hero. If we see, he was a shadow hero who was working as a villain. He, spoilers alert, he was inherited from the royal family of Wales, the king of Britannia. Actually, he can be called the king of England if we consider, and how he just cuts the neck of the king's one, the father of Canute. Man, that was so goated. I just got goosebumps when I watched that episode, the final episode of prologue part. Man, epic. Vinland Saga season 1 was so good after episode 10. And this is the beauty of Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga actually takes some time to grow, just like JoJo's. JoJo also takes some time to grow into your mindset. Like first 6, 7 episodes are slow, little bit. They work on foundation. They set up many things, and then they start growing exponentially. And that's the best part about Vinland Saga as well. But Berserk is a bit different. We'll be talking about Berserk later on. Berserk is like this and this, but Vinland Saga is like this. JoJo is like this, and Attack on Titan is like this. Okay, I will be banned again if I talk AOT a lot. Okay, let's talk about Thorkel. Okay, Thorkel. For me, just give me a second. Let's check the chat. That's why on what basis you are ranking. Basically, I am ranking on the basis of impact on the story, philosophical importance, and how they impact on Thorfinn. This is the basic criteria of ranking. Askeladd, yeah. It's special because when we watched it for the first time, we thought he was the villain. Yeah, actually, I was so much enraged that man he killed Thorfinn's father, and Thorfinn being a child, I could understand his ideology that yeah, you have been like idealizing a person for your whole childhood, then suddenly a bastard comes and kill that person. He's no more. You don't have your ideal, and that is the worst part of Thorfinn's life. And we cannot blame Askeladd totally because his work was like that. He was a bounty hunter, and that was his work. And more like if he never did that, he could not never get the, I mean, get that kind of credibility from Floki, so that he comes near to King Swan, which was his actual motive in his life to kill the king of Denmark. Actually, it was not totally his motive to just kill king of Denmark like King Swan, but it was more like to ruin the royal family of Vikings, so that the head is down, and later on Yom's Vikings will be declining too, because he hated Vikings from his bottom his heart. He has said that, and that is the main point of this story. Uh, okay, let's come to Thorkel. Thorkel for me, Thorkel in the war arc is A tier, but overall I will be saying Thorkel is A tier character. Thorkel in the war arc, specifically in the next season 3, Thorfinn will be so goated because Thorfinn will help Thorfinn a lot. Because Thorkel wants, spoiler alert again, Thorfinn to become the leader of Yom's Vikings, because he actually genetically he inherits his father's nature, and if his father was alive, Thorfinn would have been the leader of Yom's Vikings, because that is legal, totally legal, and that's why Thorkel is so good. And that panel where the panel from where I took this, also Thorkel just fights with bare-handed with a beard, man. Kudos to Thorkel. Then comes to Ketil. Ketil for me was not a great character. And his impact on the story was less. I just put him in this ranking because it was his farmland after all, where Thorfinn was, and I will be saying his impact on the side story was more what was going on in the farm arc. He was reason for that, and I will be saying that is why he is B tier character, or even I can put him in C tier character. Uh, then comes to Arnheid. Okay, and also I am saying this is on the basis of the story, not on the basis of writing. Yukimura's writing is very much good. I am not disrespecting the writing. It is basic. It's criteria on the basis of character's impact. What I said. And then comes to Arnheid, man. Definitely, I will be putting Arnheid on A tier character, because later on in the story we have seen that she still has some emotional connection with Einar and Thorfinn, because her death was painful to Einar, even because Einar most probably could never move on from her death. It was painful. I will be not talking a lot about Arnheid because she doesn't have any philosophical impact on the story, but her death has so much impact on the change of Einar and Thorfinn, because Thorfinn resolved to go to Vinland finally when he saw that her death is impactful on their lives, like especially on Einar, how Einar was crying and was about to beat the shit out of Ketil's ass. But yeah, it was great for Arnheid's side that her death was important. Her death was important for the development of Einar and Thorfinn. Because Einar as a character I never put here, because Einar is still growing, and I am believing that in the later on in the story, like this arc will be important for Einar, as much as I know from important the real history of Vinland Saga. What I read from Wikipedia and other sources. Let me check the chat once. Yeah, head is down, and later believing that in the later on in the story, like these are good. Okay, now coming to Snake. Snake is also A tier character, because mm, Snake can be B or A. Let me think. Snake is A tier character for me because Snake has his impact also on the story, because Snake definitely is a A tier character, yeah, because Snake has impact on both side of the story. If you see, like the side story what was going in the farmland arc, and also Thorfinn's story, because Snake is a neutral character, neutral good character. He has some morals, but he is also chooses violence when it is needed. Snake is more like Askeladd, but in a more toned down version. So, or controlled version, I will be saying. And also, Snake is important for the story because of Snake has some distinct impact on the main story. And then coming to Thorgil. Thorgil is a bit complicated, because Thorgil for me either B or C. I'll be putting Thorgil at B because Thorgil has very less screen time, in my opinion, because Thorgil chooses violence. He has more impact on the side story, and Thorgil's best moment was when he was sneaking from the behind of King Canute, and he was about to just kill Canute, and his whole story was almost over. And Thorfinn is good character, but not too much that I will be putting him at A, or not that bad I will be putting him at C. Okay, Hill definitely at A star character. Man, Hill is the definition of character making for a woman. She is the best warrior like character I have ever read in a manga or anime I have ever seen. Whenever the season 3 drops, na, I will be just fired for Hild. Hild is the definition of a warrior. More like how I will be comparing her with Lakshmi Bai, one of the greatest warrior in India who fought bravely with the British colonial race. And man, she was later sacrificed in that fight, but she was belonging from a royal family, but she had that potential to fight with hundreds of British men who were actually trained for fighting, and she had also training for fighting, but she had little bit less than them because she was queen after all, and she belonged to Jhansi. And Hild is just like her. Hild is so much. I mean, um, she is full of rage. She is full of motive that I will be killing Thorfinn. She has some potential. She has a good backstory, strong backstory. I will be saying she has beautiful references in the manga. Man, Hild is the definition of how to create a perfect woman character in the manga, and I will be waiting for her in the next season. Not more like she's masculine, but she's more like how women should be. She shows the importance of power of a woman. True feminism, what I say. And then comes Goodread. Goodread for me is A tier character. Goodread was good until 150 chapters when she was abducted and all those things were happening. But yeah, Goodread has almost similar impact like Hild. I just put Goodread in A tier because her philosophical impact. Hild has better philosophical impact. Her philosophy, how she changes, how she actually got redemption, how she got loose of her resentment. These are the stories which we have been going through. I hope Goodread will have a better story in the later on in the manga, because there will be almost like 25 or 30 more chapters coming in Vinland Saga, and I know that Goodread has some chance to grow even at this short period left in the story. Okay, let me read the chat. There are more chats. Hi, bro. Snake did impact Thorfinn morals, non-violence. Yeah, actually, that's why I put A, because when Snake was reading Old Testament to Old Man Sparkle, the father of Ketil, that impacted Thorfinn a lot. So it was an indirect reference to Bible and Christianity also, and that was good. I loved it. And yo Tetsu, what's up, bro? Good, bro. Almost good in life, but not good in social life. We both got shadowbanned a lot. Um, Living Hill's contribution to story, her contribution to equipments is also too good. Yeah, she deals with that arrow or crossbow so well, and almost perfect, I will be saying. I wanna know Snake's Viking story. It can be a spin-off type. Actually, Snake belonged to Viking regiment, I guess. He was an ex-Viking. Most probably in Swedish regiment, Sweden. Look, in the Viking, there are different. I need to share a lot of Viking story later on in a separate video, but I am giving a brief analysis. Vikings were a big race. Okay, they spreaded almost in every country in the northern Europe, like Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark. Denmark was mostly like the royal country, which was a base of Vikings mostly. Yoms Vikings belong to Poland. There is a city still there, Jomsborg, in Poland, in the near Baltic Sea, and that city is so good. I have plans in future to visit that city specifically for just knowing the history of Vikings more. And then coming to Iceland. Actually, in Iceland, they came later. Okay, after 1,000 years, 1000 AD. Yeah, they came to Iceland, and it was just like Vinland Saga story. Some specific Vikings who were tired of this fighting and all, they moved towards Iceland for farming. They thought that Iceland will be good for farming, but when they reached there, they saw that the soil is not well capable of holding any kind of good farm material like wheat or anything else, because it was so cold in Iceland. And they actually wanted to discover Vinland, what they called, which is present Canada or Newfoundland, but they eventually ended up at Iceland. So later on in the story, they eventually found Canada and Newfoundland, but that is a separate part. But this is the story. Actually, there were many regiments of Vikings. The most famous was Yom's Vikings, because Yom's Vikings were more like royal navy of Vikings, and they had the biggest regiment of sea ships and sea army, and the most trained army ones. So Yom's Vikings was the most famous. You can also check the Vikings web series for these stories, because Vikings web series deals with the Vikings history better than Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is more connected to what happened to Yom's Vikings only, not the whole Vikings story or what happened to royal family. And that is why I believe Vikings web series is also important when you are wanting to learn more about Vikings, not only Vinland Saga. Okay, let me. Grum is literally one of my favorite characters. Okay, let me explain Grum now. Not Grum, it's Gurm, Garm, I guess, if I am not wrong. Uh, yeah, I used to get goosebumps whenever he was shown, and that similarly between stories of Askeladd and Thorfinn. Yeah, yeah, actually, that is the beauty. Let me check the pronunciation of his name. Gurm Vinland Saga. I guess it was Garm. Yeah, Garm. Yes, Gurm, more like. Okay, it's not a vocabulary class, we know. Mistakes can be happening, and Grum or Gurm, whatever he is, it's a pronoun. I will be saying proper noun. Proper nouns can be changed. Especially if I got this lesson from Barthold. He has so many pronunciations, man, in Attack on Titan. Okay, Gurm. Gurm is so good because in the Baltic Sea arc, what happens between Thorfinn and Gurm is so similar to what happens in the prologue between Thorfinn and Askeladd. But yeah, Gurm has so much impact in the story. That is why Gurm is for me S tier character. I could have put him in A tier because um, Gurm. Let me think one second. No, he is definitely a star character because Gurm has that importance in the story, in the war arc. I will not be spoiling because war arc is important in the later on for Thorfinn's development, and Gurm is directly connected to Thorfinn's development because Thorfinn's that panel, that famous panel, you guys have seen that Thorfinn throwing the knives away. That was actually related to Gurm. So yeah, that's the story. Now coming to Canute and Thorfinn. Canute definitely a star, man. The way Canute is changed, just exponential, man. He is the best development I have ever seen, else than Thorfinn in the anime manga, because I believe that especially not by outer how he is represented in his like clothings or beard style or hairstyle, wherever he is like whatever facial expression he's changed, that is a separate story. But what is going inside his mind, he can see his father's dead head, that impact of philosophy of his father, the weight of monarchy, the weight of the whole. I mean, in a history, I always believe one thing. If you consider a character by moral perspective in history, there will be always flaws in a character, and same goes to Canute. Canute was a monarch. We cannot totally judge him according to moral perspective. We will found him guilty, and he will be full of sins. But for me, Canute definitely stands out from other monarchies, and Canute with Lelouch will be the best monarchs I have seen in a manga and anime. Man, they have so intellectual properties and diplomacy. in a moment you think Canute was thinking to burn down the whole England. But when he saw Thorfinn, and afterwards in the whole manga, whenever anything important happens in his life, he always has a dilemma. What if Thorfinn was in my place? Would have he done the same? In the latest manga chapters, also it is discovered very well that again Canute is asking himself about what happened in Black Death era. Man, Canute is beauty of a character writing. And then comes to Thorfinn. Whatever what I will be saying, I have explained Thorfinn so many times that is there is nothing to say about him. Thorfinn has the most relatable story like me. What happened to my life and how he was changed. Same story for me. And when I actually read about Thorfinn, I already got my redemption. Then I read the story about Thorfinn. I read Vinland Saga in 2021 September, and I took a little bit time to read it. But man, when I read it now, I could flashback. I could have flashback what happened to me. Same story, and when the episode dropped, I have no enemies. I was just about to cry because he was. It is not about pacifism that I have no enemies. It is about the journey, how he is changed from a vengeful, hateful character. I hate everyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I am just a nihilistic man. No, this is not life. Life is about forgiveness and forgiving and forgetting, because you have your own life, man. Why should I be consumed with so much hate to others? I have my own life, my own duties. I have my parents, I have my girlfriend, I have my friends. So why I should be so much consumed with someone who has such, I will be considering, mere impact on my philosophy? Because what I think hate, what we receive from others is so less in comparison to the love we receive from others. I always think that 100 people's hate can be equivalent to one people's love, and that is your mom and dad. Your mother loves you, your father loves you, your friends love you. Why should I be consumed with someone who just slanged me, who just bullied me? And this is the story of Thorfinn. This is the beauty of Thorfinn. I just love Thorfinn's changing, Thorfinn's ideology, Thorfinn's philosophy, and especially in the war arc, because it is not like change is constant. You can still face dilemmas. What we all feel, I myself feel sometimes. Should I take the right decision? Have I been in the right path? These dilemmas make you what you are eventually. Barthol, Barthehol, Bluetooth, and many more. Yeah, bro. Snake is the most accurate Viking I see. I always hate people expectations on Viking. Yeah, actually, people expect from Vikings that Vikings will be more like hateful. No, actually, Vikings were more like farmers. They loved farming. It was only 15% to 10% Vikings who were warriors. Others were mostly farming or kettling, these kind of things. And you can read about Vikings history. What Vikings depiction is done in Vinland Saga, that is a little bit wrong. I will not be too much doing criticism, but it is a bit wrong, because Vikings were more like not blonde. They were brunette, just like Indians. They were brunette mostly, not totally blonde. Some of them can be blonde, but not totally. Like Thorfinn was blonde, Canute was blonde, not like that. Actually, most of the Vikings were brunette. They were not at all that tall. What we think that Vikings must be so great because of Thor's representation. What Thor's was like 6 feet long. No, Vikings were mostly 5'7" to 5'9", even shorter than average English people. English were more tall, but they were slim. Vikings were more bulky. They were not tall, but they were bulky. They had more mesomorphic body structure or endomorphic body structure. How Thorkel has. Thorkel was real. Thorkel was real, but Thorkel was only the real, because no one in that Viking period was as tall as Thorkel in that moment. That is why Thorkel was called Thorkel the Giant in real life also. I just finished grammar. I just finished. Okay. I don't know that I don't think Vinland is gonna succeed the way it is going tribe versus Vikings. Bro, more than that, nature will prove something. I will not be spoiling the story. You must know about Black Death, how Black Death was, and man, the story is gonna be so dark, and the ending will be dark. I don't know how Yukimura will pull it off in the next 30 chapters, but yeah, it will be more darker than Berserk is right now, because Berserk is a fantasy story. It can be dark in any aspect. Like anything can be introduced easily in a fantasy story, but in a real life story, which is actually dark in the real history also, it is so hard to explain, man. Uh, I guess this was the best decision for them, turning Canute from a girly to a stoic. Canute is stoic. Yeah, Canute is stoic, actually. I can call every monarch who is more like not biased monarch who takes decision when needed. He is a stoic man because of wisdom and other things. I think wisdom was less in Canute, but the way he was not preluded by external things like external emotion. He is stoic. He is true stoic, and he is the best representation how a monarch can be a stoic as well. Just like how Marcus Aurelius was. Marcus Aurelius was more like wisdom, oriented to wisdom, and he was against warfare. In spite of being a monarch, he was king of Roman Empire. We all know, but believe Canute was belonging to such an era. He had to be violent because Vikings were in an era. It was like do or die. If you don't raise your voice or raise your weapon against others, you will be dying just starving, because Vikings lived in an era when Europe was so cold that people could not harvest properly, even in many places. That is why they moved more towards the southern parts like Italy, Greece later on. Even I was reading that Vikings gene has found in Greek people. Now very few, but there are Greek people who have Vikings gene. I guess some Vikings fled towards Greece for doing harvesting, I guess. uh, let's see, I read Vinland Saga in one day. Was like, because it was okay. Was not Thorkel versus Vikings a Canute's plan, or is it just me? उसका चेला उसका चला गया था ना थॉरकेल के पास. Thorkel versus Vikings in the war arc, I guess. Yes, it was kind of like Canute's diplomatic plan. Canute is so much beautiful character in the war arc as well. Like that panel, behead them. Oh man, that gave me goosebumps actually when I was reading. Aditya Fordale, Thorfinn's sister, can be the most beautiful character. Thorfinn's sister, what was her name? I just forgot. Yeah, actually, I was shocked that Einar is like, oh, one of my girls died. I will be simping after Thorfinn's sister. Man, in many panels, I found Einar was actually blushing watching the actually her masculine power. This is this can be like back at that time, na. Vikings and people were more attracted towards masculine girls, especially because that is why Vikings girls are more masculine than English girls. And some Vikings had some taste towards English girls because English women were more like feminine. They had no warrior like body structure, or you can say personality, and that is why they used to rape a lot of English girls in that time, back in 1000 AD. And this is shown in Vinland Saga, you guys know, in the season 1 mode. I just saw today a 4-year boy begging to eat in a shop, and the customer who I saw were not even giving that poor guy the food. And I wish I could have give him the food, but he left before it was given. And when um, from this, I just remembered one thing. Just 2 weeks ago, I actually was waiting for my girlfriend in front of a metro station. I was drinking lassi. You guys know what is lassi? It is like curd mixed in water, and it was so much hot at that point. Two like 6 or 7 year old boys. They were actually, I think they were beggars. and they came to me and said, "Bhaiya, kuch pila dijiye na, like feed us something." I thought that a lassi just it is 20 rupees or 30 rupees, so why I can't bear it. I just gave them also, not from my, I just bought them new one, and they were so happy. This shows that we can buy happiness by helping others, and this is the best part. Like, I don't know what is the problem with modern Gen people. They often don't try to help anyone, and this is quite common. I have seen also some people. I even myself have sometimes might have missed someone, and that was a little bit guilty for me. I always try to help people, like whatever money I can provide them, what is best for them, because sometime I can see the honesty on their face. Some people actually do one very wrong thing, that some people let their child to beg instead of them, because they know people cannot be declining that I don't want to give money. They will see, oh my god, they are small children, I will be giving money to them, and then the parent will be snatching the money from them, and they will do, they will be into alcoholism or do any kind of like dendrite and other stuffs, whatever they just are addicted to. And that is the worst part about like begging, I believe that. So just see that if there is any, just don't give them money. I will advise them, don't give them money, buy foods for them. They can't waste the food, they will definitely eat that food. And what I do, this is the thing, I always try to buy them foods, because they don't will not actually waste that food. uh, they were going to the car. Okay. That time I thought a lot about life. I had to where I am living. Okay, I don't know why, but for some reason I thought of Thorfinn. I don't know why. This is the impact. This is the impact Thorfinn has on your life. This shows that ideology can change a man, and positive ideology for me. Uh, Same here. I also started talking less. Yeah, actually, talking less has more benefits, and that is why I believe that introverts are actually smarter than extroverts. Extroverts talk a lot about their personal things, lot, like what is going on. Just look at these bloggers these days. They have no single privacy, man. Look at that. What was his name? The blogger most famous in the India. Arey man, that glasses guy. I just forgot his name even. Who got roasted these days. Whatever. He has zero privacy of his life. Like he is showing his brother and everything. I don't know how people can be so much comfortable showing their personal life on such a big scale. Like you have gone to traveling someone, you are having some special events like marriage in your life, then it's fine. But I don't know, vlogging culture is toxic, man. Us moment. Okay. Same then I'm on depressed because Saurabh Jesse. Yes, Saurabh Jesse. Man, he's a cartoon. He's literally a cartoon. He's even younger than me, I guess. But he has zero maturity, I will be saying. I don't know how people can be so much like. Okay, this is the thing. This is the ranking. We talked a lot about other things, but yeah, this is the whole thing. I'll be ranking more about Vinland Saga's arcs, Berserk characters. Most probably the next analysis or ranking will be on Berserk characters, and yeah, this is for today. Good afternoon. It's 4 p.m. right now in India, and for others who are watching from foreign, good noon or good morning, good night. Have a good day, and have a good life also. Just just be open, be yourself. That is the thing I learned from Vinland Saga a lot. Be yourself. Look at Canute. Canute is being himself. He knows he has a lot of weight in his shoulder, so he is being ruthless. Be like Thorfinn. He knows his ideology, so he is more like pacifist. Be whatever you are, whatever is good for your life. Don't be just cocky or narcissist. That is the thing. So bye for now, And yeah, Karan, you come to my inbox. We'll be talking more about this thing, or come to our GC. Okay. Bye for now, and namaste and goodbye.